that. Tim, will they have a bit of relief that could have got worse in the second half?
Could have got very nasty in that second period. I was hiding behind this table when I was watching. I mean, it was such a poor performance in the second half. They just blew a gasket there. I mean, I'm not sure about the changes what Nuno made as well. Listen, I thought when they first started the game was encouraged the way and Ndombele was getting on the ball, Lo Celso was busy, Dele Alli was getting on it, Sonny was, a threat up front. Harry Kane was dropping deep, far too deep in my opinion. In the second half you saw nothing of Kane, you saw nothing of Dele Alli, and Ndombele absolutely blew up, not fit enough. Lo Celso had to come off the field as well. There's so many players going down with cramp. Your main man Son was starved of any sort of service. It was a very, very poor performance in the second half and something he's going to need to look at. I think if you're going to play with that sort of intensity as you did at the start of the game, which they're capable of doing, we saw a large number of that squad play under Pochettino with a very high intensity. Under Jose it changed, it was a little bit more pragmatic. Now we haven't seen that intensity at the start of the game under Nuno so far this season, but we've seen 3 wins. But the writing's been on the wall for me. They've sat back. When they play at this stadium, the fans will not accept them sitting back. They did it against Watford. They got away with it because they won the game. Unless you're winning games, you have to play on the front foot. Now, he needs to get them fit enough to be able to do that. They've got the talent, and they're not going to play Chelsea. Let's have it right. They're not going to play Chelsea and the Man Cities and the Man Uniteds, Liverpool's every single week. But you need to play with identity. It's Tottenham Football Club. They expect a certain identity, and at the moment, I'm not sure what we are.
Only 5 games in, but going back to last season and the Champions League win, just how impressed are you with Chelsea and the way they're looking under Thomas Tuchel?
I think if I could describe them in one way, it would be efficient at the minute. They just do not look like conceding a thing. They look like, they don't look like scoring 5 or 6 goals, by the way, but they're just ruthlessly efficient at the moment. They've got a centre forward now that you expect him to cause danger every time he gets the ball. They've got a focal point that they can hit into him. They've got runners off him. They can cross the ball and expect him to be in there. As I say, they don't look like scoring at all. They've got a very solid base in midfield, big squad. I mean, they just look like they're a well-oiled machine at the minute. And even 1 or 2 injuries, as long as it's not to the main man up front, they look like they've got cover in every position as well. They're actually carrying 1 or 2 players as well that aren't really hitting it off at the moment. Vern has not been a good signing as of yet. Question marks about Havertz. He keeps playing him, but I'm still waiting to see, him put in some really good performances. So there's still a couple of players that you think expect to see a bit more out of, but even without them, they are just steamrolling at the minute.